Welcome back, traders, and today we're doing the weekend update for Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. As you can see here, we're on the 1-day Bitcoin chart, so the daily chart. As you can see, it's really still doing a whole lot of nothing, just kind of moving between the 30,000 and 29,000 levels. We've gone really flat the last couple of days. Right in here, you can see we started moving in a very tight range here. I don't love that. That seems to be a spring loading, getting loaded with more and more pressure to where it will explode either up or down. At some point, we're going to see a pretty big move in one direction. We don't know which direction quite yet. We're all hoping upward, but downward could be just as much of a move out of this thing. So we're expecting to see big, huge candles like this one, or even these ones over here on the left here pretty soon. We just don't know which way they're going to go yet. Right now, as it stands, it looks like it's slowly forming this cup I drew here like a week or two ago. This is just the pullback to make the handle. But we're slowly maybe building that up. If that happens, I would probably load up more on the miners, because if there's a cup and handle in play, there's going to be a much bigger move, and that's going to take us probably up to the 34,000 level if that one occurs. Now that since it's gone past these drawings down here, that doesn't mean that that can't happen. It just means that it would have to happen further in the future. It could totally happen. I don't necessarily want that to happen, but it could, leading into the halving, which is coming up in April of 2024. So we've all got our eyes on that. And right now it's just sort of in this stuck in between these levels. And the candles are getting smaller and smaller, which is concerning. You can see the volume isn't, though. The volume's sort of getting lower. Um, so we're low volume, small candles. At some point, they're going to come in fast, and it's all going to move. On the moving averages, we're in between the 5 and the 20, so that's not great. We'll probably come back, tap the 20 down at here, and then maybe go back above the 5, but we're under the 5, so that's bearish. We're still above the 20, just barely respecting the 20. That 200 is moving up, inching up higher and higher. Maybe this will go sideways long enough for the 200 to be in this 27,000 range. I don't know. We'll see. Let's take a look at one other thing I want to see. It's called the Gaussian channel. Let me bring that up. Gaussian channel. On the weekly, we're right in the middle here. I do not like how it makes the bars that color. Let me get rid of the bar color. Oh, so much better. Anyways, yeah, we're right in the middle of the Gaussian channel. So since we've come above and met in the middle here, my expectation would be to go back up. This is on the daily, so we'll see, kind of like we've done here. We came below, touched the middle, came down, and then blew right through it. Or any of these other times. Let me find some others. Yeah, came here, down, touched the middle, back down before moving up again. Again, like the middle point's a pretty common point to come back to. Let's take a look on the weekly. I can't do 3 days because I don't pay anymore. Let's see the weekly. On the weekly, we're about to tap the top here. We'll probably come back down to the top here on the weekly in the 28,000s before moving back on up again. Or rather, the top will come and meet us somewhere here in the high 28,000s likely. It's not uncommon for Bitcoin in the past to, once it gets above, to not go below on the weekly, but it's done it before. Let's see, this is came below. No, it didn't. This was the last one, right? No, it did. It did. Came over, came down, and then when it came back over again. So we might see ourselves go back down under. But this was also what caused this. This was also March 2020. So this was COVID right here that brought us back below the Gaussian channel on the weekly chart. That's the only thing that brought us back below that channel, because you can see we were moving our way back up, and then boom, COVID, before moving on up again. So we might not see that happen again. We may just come back and test the middle, which would at some point would be somewhere in this $25,000, $26,000 range on the weekly. So back on the daily, we'll get rid of the Gaussian channel. We've seen that. All right, so let's see for fear and greed on Bitcoin. We're looking at a 54. We're going into neutral territory, so things are going to continue to go sideways likely. For stocks, we're still in greed, so things are likely still to come down a bit before going sideways or back up again. Let's take a look at our miners. So our connection. So Bit Digital, what did Bit Digital do the last couple of days? We're still in our downward channel here. We're still respecting it, just hard sell pressure, light buying pressure, followed by hard selling pressure. We did get a bit of a decent buying pressure here. We didn't make a new low yet. That could still come. I did pick some up in this region, and I have been buying everything under 350. I will do heavier buying down closer to $3. If we get through this zone here, if we break through this zone, I got this big red arrow here pointing, we're going to probably come back down and test this other zone down here under $2 if we get through it. We might see ourselves get caught up in this range here and stay just above $2, but there is a chance that if we break below this box here, below these, let me actually make that a little tighter to those, especially if we break below this wick at 253, then we're really going down. But we're headed for this box here. We haven't got there yet. I got my big green arrow here because at $3, I want to see it rebound pretty hard. And that would be pretty great for BT. But right now, it's just a waiting game, just patience, patience, patience as we prepare for it to reverse at some point in the coming future. But for now, we're still in downtrend. I'm still buying every time we make a new low, and I will buy my way all the way down and then all the way back up again. Same thing for BitF, Bitfarms. We are in a pretty decent downward trend, not as strong as on Digital. We did get into our buy zone on this one a few days ago. This is the hourly chart, by the way. We did get into this one a few days ago into the buy zone. It looks like we're probably headed back for it. We are technically out of this downward channel, but there is definitely a chance we can come back to it pretty easily. We only have two candles that are not touching it, so we could easily come back down into it. So I wouldn't count ourselves out of the woods yet. As you can see, the buying pressure is getting weaker here, while selling pressure is still staying pretty strong. And we didn't make a new high. We made a new low on the previous pass. We made a lower high on this one, so we're kind of stepping down here. So I'm expecting this to make a new low, probably back down to this level down here and then re-enter the channel. That's what I'm expecting. That may not come to pass, but that's what I'm expecting, especially with this failed double bottom here. See this big blue candle? Almost trying to take out this double bottom here. It would have needed to get above 167 and hold above 167, but that would have been a pretty textbook double bottom there if it had done it. Probably faked out some traders there when that happened because it looked like it was going for it, but then immediately the next couple of candles it took it out. So especially failing that double bottom pattern there, I'm really expecting to see with these lower lows and lower highs a return into this level here. Marathon Digital is in a pretty strong downward channel. It has been for days, as you can see. This thing started on the 14th of July, and we've really been making strong downward moves with pretty weak upward moves in between each one. It's really set on coming down into this level down here between $14 and $13. I'm not upset about that. That's fine for me. I will buy more here. I will buy more even if it comes down to here into the $10 range, $9 range. I'll keep buying. So I'm just going to wait. I've been buying very little Marathon Digital because there are some hidden dangers in Marathon Digital. That's that it might not get as high a value as I was thinking previously. I will do a video about that and release it soon because I don't want to load up on this thinking it's going to go to my target price with some of these dangers lurking on Marathon Digital. But for now, still in a downward channel. We're in between these two zones, headed for this zone here between $14 and $13. If it breaks this below, we're heading down to 10. If it goes back up, we're heading back into 15, 16. If it breaks that, we're headed back up probably into the 20s. That's what we're looking at for Mara. But right now, downward. That's the move until it breaks out of this channel. My thoughts are it's going down further. Some other information for Bitcoin, because our trade is heavily dependent on Bitcoin making a move upward to make profit. The latest deadline on the Bitcoin ETF for ARK has been kicked down the road. The deadline, I believe, is Monday, and the SEC has already come out and said that they're not going to get it done by Monday, so it's going to go to the next deadline. And they'll likely push it out as far as they can because the SEC, as we are well aware of, does not really like Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. So it's going to probably take up as much time as it possibly can making a decision on those Bitcoin ETFs. So nothing yet. Let's see here. This is just a little fun one. 5 nations that have taken crypto adoption. 5 nations that have taken crypto adoption to the adoption. Yeah, it's not adoption. It says adaption. The next level. Uh, let's see, El Salvador, Portugal, Singapore, Malta, UAE. They're basically just friendly to crypto countries, governments that are friendly to crypto that are letting you do more than say the United States is doing with crypto. I believe El Salvador actually made it their official currency, didn't they? Country in the world, yeah, it became the first country in the world to accept Bitcoin as legal tender. That was pretty cool, I guess. I don't know if I would pick Bitcoin for that. It's very expensive to transact with, but they did it. That's the weekend update. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a profitable day.